Hi, good morning. It's really bright out here. I'm not complaining. I just squinty eye. How are you? Happy Saturday. It's kind of ow. It's a lot ow, let's be serious. But I have your moon and the sun. Where is it? There it is. Look, it's the moon. That little strange speck there. But I also have the sun. Sunshine and lollipops, rainbows and butterflies. See? Sunrise. But also the moon. So somewhere there's no moon, because I have it. And the sun. You can have both later, I guess. Mother Nature decided. I'm running really slow this morning. I'm very sore. I did too much yesterday. It happens. I'm just very grateful that I woke up. That's how you start. You get over those icky things and then you go, ooh, what am I thankful for? Hey, it just happens to be Canadian Thanksgiving weekend also. So, gratitude. That's going to be the attitude. It kind of has to be all the time, or else I'm going to wallow in a pit of self-ugh that I don't want to be in, because it's, no, it would be very easy to do that, but I choose not to. I heard flapping. It's overhead, not landing. Yeah. I closed my eyes overnight. I'm not sure it could be called sleep, for it was fitful and wrought with awfulness. Ugh. Why do people have to be like clean? I don't know. However, the minus negative degrees that have been happening over the mornings, woo, it's windy, didn't happen overnight. It stayed warm. It's still 10 degrees outside. It's windy AF, but that's okay. I'll take it because it's supposed to do that nope thing today. This afternoon it's calling for a chance of snow. It's snope. No thank you. It'll mostly be rain mixed with, oh hi Maggie. On the roof of that house. Yeah, I don't know. I do know. I know exactly what. I'm just gonna keep pouring into me and my daughter and one foot in front of the other, because that's what you do. You just keep swimming. Because if you don't, you're gonna drown. I don't like doing that. The LOL has always looked to me like somebody who's drowning, asking for help and never gets it. Every time I type it, I think, oh, somebody drowning. Unless it's capital letters. Maybe it just needs to be capital letters every time so that I don't think of a person drowning every time I write LOL. Hi Maggie! I don't know. Hi gorgeous, good morning! Hi beautiful! Hi guys! My birds are here. Good morning! How are you today? Hi! You got funny hair. Yeah. Hi gorgeous! Hello, little birds. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. How are you? Morning, Maggie. Hello, beautiful. How are you? How are you? Are you good this morning? Good morning, big bird. Hi. Good morning. Oh, look at you. Your beautiful tail. So many first thing. Hi. You came back, sunny hair. Beautiful bird. Yeah. Hi. Good morning. Take some buckets and look at her. Yes, I'm good. Yes, I am. There you are. Hi. Yes, good morning. Yes, good It's warm out, the sky is clear, and very, very baby blue. Hi, Maggie. Hi, what are you doing up there? Hi. Good morning. Hello, beautiful. Did you come to see me? Of course you did. What are you doing? Oh? Are we having arguments? Yeah? Are you talking? He's a pretty bird. Did you come to see me this morning? Can't talk with a mouthful. No, you can't. You can come back and talk to me then? Come back. We'll have a chat. My flock murder of crows flying in the wind. Over there. Way up there. Past the magpie. Doing their circles. Are you posing? It's quite the stance. You the king of the castle? Yeah? These are pretty birds. Do you want me to read to you? Do you need a story? Are you here to tell me stories? What you doing? Pretty bird. Pretty bird, I see you. I see you up there. Yes, I do. Hi. There you are. Pretty bird. Hi, pretty bird. You guys are just hanging out today, huh? Did you miss me? I missed you. It was too cold. I was too owl. Speckles? Yes, Speckles and Mohawk. Because that's your physical attributes. Really creative, I know. Hi. Good morning. Look at you all posing all fluffy up there. With your feathers blowing in the wind. That wasn't very nice. There's room for both of you, you know. Hi. I was out here looking at a book. Sorry, birds. It's Dr. Wayne Dyer's 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. I've had this for a very long time. It's very lovingly broken open because it was my map through my first divorce. Oh yeah, I've done this twice, unfortunately, because I seem to be a magnet for people who want to take advantage of me. It's great. They see the light and they want to keep it. It's not for keeping, it's for, protecting and shielding and encouraging to grow. Not for ownership or possession, but that's fine. We're out of that now. Moving onwards. But I've covered a few of these long time ago. And I was going in order, I believe. I don't really recall. I'll have to go back through footage, and there's a lot. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to go with what is applicable for me right now in this moment. And I do that all the time. I have a ton of books. A lot full of just stories and, mind dribble that is majorly entertaining. But I have a very hard time reading that stuff now. Focus. I haven't been able to read like I used to since I was in a car accident 7 years ago. I just don't have the ability. But little bits and bursts and knowledge seem to be absorbable-ish. I don't know. I just keep going. Just keep going. But the 7th secret is the one that kind of fits with things. And it's about not carrying things that you really don't need to. There are no justified resentments. Put it down. That doesn't mean to forgive those that have hurt you either, because perhaps they're not deserving of forgiveness or continue to inflict pain, trauma, injury, abuses. You don't have to forgive people that have hurt you, but you cannot carry that resentment, that hate, that negative with you. It will bog you down. Those are the concrete shoes you're going to wear to the very bottom. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature. We are what we think. Our thoughts create everything. They hold our emotions, our feelings. They are the creator of us, our thoughts. Now our emotions and our heart center is what guides us, or should be guiding us, and structuring those thoughts in our mind. We can control that. God, creator, source, it doesn't matter what you call it. It's all the same thing, and we're all a part of it. Doesn't matter your beliefs, your religions, all things are valid. But there is but one thing that connects us all. God does not command that we do great things, only little things with great love. Move through this world with nothing but kindness, tenderness, and love towards all things, and you will know nothing but peace and happiness. We hear that all the time, yet seem to be incapable. Good morning, pretty bird. Hey, be nice. There's enough for everyone. No fighting. Yeah, you tell them no fighting. We share. Yeah, good birds. Yes, you're a good bird. He's a pretty bird. Yeah, you're my pretty bird. You can't talk with your mouth full. Yes, pretty bird. Thank you. Giving the others trouble. Be nice. Hi up there. On the eaves trough, are you coming down? No, just hanging out? Alright. Hey, Mohawk. He's the one who's got the cardinal haircut. They're all around. They love it here. I love them visiting. The seventh secret: there are no justified resentments. You hear people say this all the time. I have a right to be upset because of the way I've been treated. I have a right to be angry, hurt, depressed, sad, and resentful. Learning to avoid this kind of thinking is one of my top 10 secrets for living a life of inner peace, success, and happiness. Anytime you are filled with resentment, you're turning the controls of your emotional life over to others to manipulate. Those are not yours. Put them down. I became aware of how powerful this lesson was many years ago while sitting in a meeting of 12 people who were in a recovery group of alcoholism and drug addiction. All 12 of those people were accustomed to blaming others for their weaknesses, using almost any excuse as a rationale for returning to their self-defeating ways. On a poster hanging in the room, I'm sorry, good morning. Good morning, you don't have to yell. Hi. Yes, pretty bird. Hi. Good morning, pretty bird. Who's a pretty bird? You're a pretty bird. Yes, you are. My talker. Don't ignore the talker. He will yell. He needs to be greeted. Good morning. On a poster hanging in the room were these words: in this group, there are no justified resentments. Regardless of what anyone would say to another group member, no matter how confrontational or ugly the accusations, each person was reminded that there are no justified resentments. You may need to consider whom you resent before you make your own choice about whether this is useful for you. Resentments give you an excuse to return to your old ways. This is what got you there in the first place. So it's not to say you're deserving of the way you've been treated. It's to say that the patterns of behavior that you continue to make, the choices you make, are affecting your outcomes. You have the control. Why resentments are there? You may be familiar with a popular television show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? If the contestant answers 15 multiple choice questions, he or she wins $1 million. Starting with a $100 question, the person in the hot seat answers 5 questions until reaching the $1,000 level. At this point, the person is guaranteed to leave with something. Then the questions increase in difficulty. If the contestants reach 32,000 again, there's a guarantee of leaving with that amount. So there are 2 crucial levels to attain: the $1,000 level, which is achieved by answering 5 relatively simple questions, and the $32,000 level, which involves 5 increasingly difficult questions. I've just related details about this TV program to present the idea of the 2 levels that you must achieve in order to have a chance at the highest $1 million level of awareness. We're talking about self-awareness. The $1,000 level is one in which you learn to leave blame behind in your life. If you don't do so, you go home with nothing. It is no one else's fault for anything in your life. Your life might be the result of decisions that have been made, and you might be in a situation that you didn't entirely put yourself into. However, removing blame means never assigning responsibility to anyone for what you are experiencing. It means that you are willing to say, I may not understand why I feel this way, why I have this illness, why I've been victimized, or why I had this accident, but I'm willing to say without any guilt or resentment that I own it. I am responsible for having it in my life. Why do this? If you take responsibility for having it, then at least you have a chance to also take responsibility for removing it or learning from it. If you're in some small, perhaps unknown way responsible for that migraine headache or that depressed feeling, then you can go to work to remove it or discover what its message is for you. If, on the other hand, someone or something else is responsible in your mind, then of course you'll have to wait until they change for you to get better. And that is unlikely to occur. So at the $1,000 level, blame has to go. Otherwise, you go home with nothing and are unable to participate at the higher levels. That's not to say that you gave yourself your illness or that you are responsible for your migraine, the migraine. You aren't. But they're there, and you still have to go through it to get over it. You must be willing to pass a new test at the second critical level, the $32,000 question, which is the final obstacle you must face in order to move into the more exalted realm of self-actualization and higher consciousness. The $1 million spiritual level. At this level, you must be willing to send the higher, faster energies of love, peace, joy, forgiveness, and kindness as your response to whatever comes your way. This is the start of the uncrowded extra mile, where you have only love to give away. Someone says something to you that you find offensive, and rather than opting for resentment, you're able to depersonalize what you've just heard and respond with kindness. You would rather be kind than right. You have no need to make others wrong or to retaliate when you've been wronged. You do this for yourself. There's a Chinese proverb: if you're going to pursue revenge, you'd better dig 2 graves. Your resentments will destroy you. They are low energies. And along the extra mile, you'll only meet others who have fully grasped this concept, like attracts like. The ones who haven't made it to this level are all back with the crowd who went out of the game long ago. On an easier question, hi, are you talking to me too? Telling stories? Yeah? I'm listening. What do you have to say, little bird? Pretty bird. Are you a pretty bird? Who's a pretty bird? Are you saying I am? Are you a pretty bird? Yeah, you're a pretty bird. Who's a pretty bird? Yes, be nice. You're a pretty bird. Hi. Yes, you are my pretty bird. My talker. Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Who's a pretty bird? And crows. What a fabulous morning. Magpies and crows, oh my. Oh, my puppy's crying. Your resentments will destroy you. They are low energies, and along the extra mile, you'll only meet others who have fully grasped this concept. The ones who haven't made it to this level are all back with the crowd who went out of the game long ago on an easier question. And most are still back there wondering why they keep going home with nothing. But I can assure you that they continue to blame others for their emptiness. First, you have to get past blame. Then you have to learn to send love to all, rather than anger and resentment. The story is told of the enlightened master, who always responded to outbursts of criticism, judgment, and ridicule with love, kindness, and peace. One of his devotees asked him how he could possibly be so kind and peaceful in the face of such disparaging invective. There we go. That's a new word. His response to the devotee was this question: if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept that gift, to whom does the gift belong? The answer leads you to the extra mile. Ask yourself, why would I allow something that belongs to someone else to be a source of my resentment? As the title of a popular book says, what you think of me is none of my business. Maggie confirms. Other people's thoughts and opinions of you are theirs. That's on them. As long as you have done and moved through life with integrity, truth, kindness, and values, and have not harmed the other, their reaction is 100% their own. That's not you. Letting go of other people's hurts is so critical to moving forward and being content and happy in this moment, the present that is the gift. How can you appreciate this moment if you're constantly holding on to the horror that is others' thoughts and feelings? No, thank you. Stop looking for occasions to be offended. When you live at or below ordinary levels of awareness, you spend a great deal of time and energy finding opportunities to be offended. A news report, an economic downturn, a rude stranger, a fashion miscue, someone cursing, a sneeze, a black cloud, any cloud, an absence of clouds. Just about anything will do if you're looking for an occasion to be offended. Along the extra mile, you'll never find anyone engaging in such absurdities. Become a person who refuses to be offended by anyone, anything, or any set of circumstances. If something takes place and you disapprove, by all means, state what you feel from your heart. And if possible, work to eliminate it and then let it go. Most people operate from the ego and really need to be right. So when you encounter someone saying things that you find inappropriate, or when you know they are wrong, forget your need to be right and instead say, "You're right about that." Those words will end potential conflict and free you from being offended. Your desire is to be peaceful, not to be right, hurt, angry, or resentful. If you have enough faith in your own beliefs, you'll find that it's impossible to be offended by the beliefs and conduct of others. That is not to say that you walk away and you ignore injustices either. That is not what that means. This is merely pointing out that you do not carry that emotional burden within yourself. You still must right wrongs. And injustices within this world or nothing will ever be fixed. But it is not up to you to battle of words with the individual who refuses to see sight or forward thinking in any manner, way, shape, or form. Change requires action, and anyone who cannot do so is not worth your breath. Not being offended is a way of saying, I have control over how I'm going to feel, and I choose to feel peaceful, regardless of what I observe going on. When you feel offended, you are practicing judgment. You judge someone else to be stupid, insensitive, rude, arrogant, inconsiderate, or foolish, and then you find yourself upset and offended by their conduct. What you may not realize is that when you judge another person, you do not define them. You define yourself as someone who needs to judge others. It says more about you than it does about anybody else. Gorgeous birds. Yes, my pretty birds. Just as no one can define you with their judgments, neither do you have the privilege of defining others. When you stop judging and simply become an observer, you will know the inner peace I'm writing about here. With that sense of inner peace, you'll find yourself free of the negative energy of resentment, and you'll be able to live a life of contentment. A bonus is that you'll find that others are much more attracted to you. A peaceful person attracts peaceful energy. You won't know God, source, whatever you call it, unless you're at peace, because God is peace. Your resentments literally send God out of your life while you're busy being offended. Not being offended will mean eliminating all variations of the following sentence from your repertoire of available thoughts. If only you were more like me, then I wouldn't have to be upset right now. You are the way you are, and so are those around you. Most likely, they will never be just like you. So stop expecting those who are different to be what you think they should be. It's never going to happen. It's your ego that demands that the world and all the people in it be as you think they should be. Your higher sacred self refuses to be anything but peaceful and sees the world as it is, not as your ego would like it to be. When you respond with hatred to hate directed at you, you've become a part of the problem, which is hatred, rather than part of the solution, which is love. Love is without resentment and readily offers forgiveness. Love and forgiveness will inspire you to work at what you are for, rather than what you are against. If you are against violence and hatred, you'll fight it with your own brand of violence and hatred. If you are for love and peace, you'll bring those energies to the presence of violence and ultimately dissolve the hatred. When Mother Teresa was asked to march against the war in Vietnam, she replied, "No, I won't. But when you have a march for peace, I'll be there." A final word about forgiveness and resentment. At the root of virtually all spiritual practices is the notion of forgiveness. This was what came out of Jesus of Nazareth while he was being tortured on a cross by a Roman soldier throwing a spear into his side. It is perhaps the most healing thing that you can do to remove the low energies of resentment and revenge from your life completely. Think about every single person who has ever harmed you, cheated you, defrauded you, or said unkind things to you. Your experience of them is nothing more than a thought that you carry around with you. These thoughts of resentment, anger, and hatred represent slow, debilitating energies that will disempower you. If you could release them, you would know more peace. Pretty birds, are you talking? I hear you. You practice forgiveness for 2 reasons. 1 is to let others know that you no longer wish to be in a state of hostility with that person, and 2, to free yourself from the self-defeating energy of resentment. Resentment is like venom that continues to pour through your system, doing its poisonous damage long after being bitten by the snake. It's not the bite that kills you, it's the venom. You can remove venom by making a decision to let go of resentments. Send love in some form to those you feel have wronged you, and notice how much better you feel, how much more peace you have. It was one act of profound forgiveness towards my own father, whom I never saw or talked to, that turned my life around from one of ordinary awareness to one of higher consciousness, achievement, and success, beyond anything I had ever dared to imagine. Indeed, there are no justified resentments if you wish to walk along the extra mile and enjoy inner peace and success on every step of the path. That does not mean you need or must forgive those that have wronged you who do not deserve your forgiveness. However, you cannot carry that resentment and darkness or feelings of any of the like towards those individuals. What they have done to you is on them. It's done. You will forever carry those marks on your soul, and you will not forget. Perhaps you will in time. It will be less and it will feel less. But how you let that go, and how you allow peace in your life and allow forgiveness for yourself, is to say, may you have the life you deserve with love, and walk away. And to all those who have and continue to wrong, abuse, mistreat myself and my daughter, with all of my soul, power, and being, may you have the life and love that you deserve for all eternity with love. But you will not be a part of our life. I don't need that. We don't need that toxicity, and that's okay. Watch us flourish, and may you have the best lives with love. Happy Saturday. Have a great day, everyone. Later.